Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the Gateway School Board of Directors meeting for Tuesday, November 19th, 2019. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a roll call, Janet?
Mr. Boba?
Here.
Mrs. Cerrucci?
Here.
Mr. Gottman?
Here.
Mr. Lapsevich?
Here.
Mr. McIntyre?
Present.
Mrs. Neely? Here. Mr. Ritter?
Here.
Mrs. Warning? Here. Mr. Williams?
Here.
Great, thank you. First on our agenda is the Gateway Robotics Club. I'd like to announce Mackenzie Kalana.
Yeah, she can make it tonight, but
Oh,
three more guys.
all right, well, introduce.
So thanks for having us in tonight. We saw y'all 18 months ago, so it's been a little while. So we wanted to come in before the year was over and tell you what we've been up to. So I got some of the students to take care of that. I'm gonna try and slide out of the PowerPoints away here. All right, boys. Just slide to the left for your next slide.
Hi. So I'm Scott Healy. I'm on the programming and leadership sub-teams on the Robotics Club.
I'm Lenny Tate. I'm on the build sub-team and drive team, and I also am on the leadership team.
Hi there, I'm Emmett Grayley. I work on design, the build team, and I'm also the team safety captain.
We've been very busy both on the competition fields and in our community in the 18 months since we last presented to you. Just as a refresher, we are Gateway High School's robotics team. We've been active for 12 years, and we do two programs, FRC, which is a larger scale program, and an example of the scale would be the robot you see here, and VEX, which we tend to put our first year members on, which is much smaller scale. So I'll let you take it.
To the left, correct. We did well in our 2019 competition season. Like Scott said, we do two programs here. We do FRC, which is First Robotics Competition. That's mostly our sophomores and upperclassmen. And we also do VEX, which is mostly for our freshmen. Now and then we'll have a sophomore do it, but we try to keep our first years in that category. VEX is a bit smaller scale than FRC. It's sort of comparable to the Lego Mindstorms or Rector sets, but it's more sophisticated. We tend to have our freshmen and first years go through it because it's a more simple program. When you go into FRC, we machine much of our own parts. We work with stock metal and more complicated electronics, and that's a bit overwhelming for people that are new to the subject. So with VEX, it allows people who are really uninitiated to come and find what they like to do in robotics and grow their talent there. This year in VEX, we did fairly well. We finished 15th and 17th at our qualifiers. I was helping to coach the freshmen on that team along with my friend and colleague Dion.
Along with VEX, we also do FRC, which is First Robotics Competition. We go to Cal U with our big robots, like the one in front. We are founded by Dean Kamen, who's the founder of First. We get 6 weeks of build season to build our robot, or at least we used to, until currently where they made it, we get until our actual competition date. This year, we went to the Greater Pittsburgh Regional, and we placed 29th out of 45 teams. And this was the first year since 2015 that we built an elevator instead of a short bot. We also go to off-season events like Steel City Showdown, which was in Cal U, or not Cal U, CMU, my bad. There were 22 teams there, and we placed 6 out of them. Instead of doing one where the teams went against each other in the brackets, and then they got knocked out as they went, we would fight all the teams against each other and see what happens. So we didn't get into the finals, because finals went right after. Whoever had the highest stats would go to them, and we didn't place. We also went to MVRC, which was out in Warren, Ohio. We placed in 11th and got to the semifinals. There were 22 teams there as well. And then we went to Corey, which was in Columbus, Ohio. We stayed there for 2 days, and we took the Gateway bus or Gateway van up there. We placed 6 up there and got to the quarterfinals before being knocked out with 25 teams.
So we do a lot with robots. We all love technology and we love what we do here, but it can be sort of obscure to people. A lot of people don't know exactly what we do, and so a big part of our team is going out in the community and showing people and trying to show them that we do this and you can do it too, and kind of trying to inspire people. So we did a lot of community events this year, going out and showing people, showing the robots, trying to get people involved. This year we did 44 events. We ended up having about 148 student hours put into the whole venture, and we've reached 14,200 people from all around the Pittsburgh area.
So this month alone is probably the biggest month we've had to date in a while. In just 10 days, we've done all the events on the screen and plan on doing more. So we've had 3 Girl Scout troops so far, and all of them we go and do STEM badges. We are partnered with them, which is on our left of our shirts. So we go and do badges so that they can get more on their sashes and on their shirts. We also went to SciTech, which is basically a STEM festival. There were other FRC teams there that were showing off what we all had, and we got to go and inspire a lot of other people, show them what we got. Healthy for the Holidays, which we went and took our FRC robot up to the mall, or our VEX robots up to the mall, and let people play with them and show what we have in button making. We also have the principal meeting and a few more Girl Scout troops coming up soon, and Children's Museum STEM Carnival.
So recently we've started getting involved in some advocacy, which was pretty big for us. It's not something that we're used to, so it's really important to try and branch out of our comfort zone and get involved in, politics. So over the summer, we represented Pennsylvania to our senators and representatives at the first National Advocacy Conference in Washington, D.C. We represented the entire state of Pennsylvania to our senators and representatives. We met with Senator Toomey and Casey, and we met with Representatives Lamb and Reschenthaler. And we basically went over there and advocated for policy that would help us, which we will get to in a minute. And here's a picture of all the teams that were in attendance. So a lot of people come. Sadly, we were the only team from Pennsylvania there, but
Where are we?
Kind of in the middle.
like here.
Middle top.
A lot of teams there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
All right. And in October, we met with the congressman for our district, Representative Doyle. It was very fun. This time we actually got to have him in our workshop, and so we could talk to him as a team instead of sending representatives. And it was really cool. We got to get more people from our team involved in the advocacy that we do, and I think that was really important. So yeah. What did we talk about? This is kind of just like, yes, there were specific things. We had 9. So we talked about the Every Student Succeeds Act, specifically Title IV Parts A and B and funding for them. What those do is, I assume you're familiar because you're a school board, but a brief rundown. It would provide funding for a well-rounded education, as well as funding for 21 CCLCs, which are 21st Century Community Learning Centers, to help just basically get more students and young people involved in STEM and especially robotics. We also talked about the Krista McAuliffe Commemorative Coin Act. This would mint, I forget the exact number, 300,000 coins, dollar coins with Krista McAuliffe on them. She was supposed to be the first teacher in space, but sadly she was on the Challenger mission, so. And the money raised at no cost to the federal government would go to FIRST, which is an organization we work with. And in general, we just talked about technology in the greater Pittsburgh area in the meeting with Representative Doyle.
Varsity letters. So we've been trying to get these recently. We have some requirements that we proposed, and we haven't been approved yet, but we're planning on getting approved. We have our requirements are 75% meeting attendance, which should be decently easy for our team. Work 5+ community events per season. We have over 40 almost every season, so as long as you attend at least 5 of them, you're good. Attend at least 1 team competition per season. We have about 4 on average competitions that we go to, so as long as you attend at least 1. Active participant on a team, meaning that you come into meetings, that you do your work, and that you're doing the best that you can. If you're on leadership team, then you're going on Google Drive and reading your emails, replying. You must be in good standing per the team handbook. We have our own handbook that we have to get everyone to sign off on, and you've got to follow the rules.
Teaching the teachers. So this is basically part of our sort of new goal to get more educators aware of after-school robotics programs, so hopefully they can start their own and just in addition get more involved, which is always a good thing. So we presented to hundreds of local educators about the value of competitive robotics, this being FIRST, VEX, other competitions like Bots IQ, BEST, CPERCH, there are all sorts. And so we did this at the Google Teacher Tech Workshop, where we went to our local Google office and basically educated some teachers about what we do and other competitions that they can get their students involved in. We went to TRETC, that stands for,
They didn't explain it
I
much.
think it's the Three Rivers Educational Technology Conference, yes.
Thank you.
And on Thursday morning, we are actually meeting with principals to discuss what we do.
Yeah, Mr. Mateo invited us. Excited to go meet some principals from other school districts.
And so here's some pictures of our events. This was our teacher tech presentation, and this was at TRETC. We were actually there with other FRC teams like Girls of Steel and Trojanators.
See, down there in the middle, on the left-hand side, is Joe DeLucente. Down here on the red shirt. Yeah, he was down there. Dr. Joe.
So we have started a Girl Scout initiative about 2 years ago now. So then in May of 2018, we began with it. We got a goal to visit Girl Scout troops across Western PA and to become a partners program. Now, since then, we have 325 Girl Scouts inspired and 281 STEM badges earned. So whenever we go out and show the Girl Scouts what we do, we like to help them by getting them the requirements for their STEM badges. Things we have planned are, this month alone, we will run STEM badges for 5 troops. And it's a lot of troops to do in just 1 month. On December 7th, we're going to have our STEM badge bash, where we're going to have a lot of other troops come up to the high school to go and learn lots of new badges that we have just got released and are trying to pick up. Local Brownie and Junior troops will be in attendance to earn 4 different STEM-related badges.
And feel free to come and check it out.
Yep. Thank you to all of our sponsors, you guys, for the 5K that you gave us last year generously. And with that, we were able to help build this robot and our other one. Google, who gave us,
Google has been a
they have been a,
substantial contributor.
yeah, they have been contributing to us for multiple years. The MERS group, which have also been contributing us for many years. Microsoft, which is one of our new ones. Bechtel, who has been around for like 10 years. FedEx, also a new sponsor that we got. And a lot more.
All right, so do you have any questions?
Sure, I have a question. I have a master's degree in computer science. I love the nerd stuff that you guys do, and I especially like the fact that you built this robot in order to throw a Frisbee. Who thought that up?
I don't want to take too much credit for it. Back
All
in
right.
2013, we had a competition.
So let me ask you a question. You were out there, you're talking to some, the Girl Scouts. Did you, as you were making your presentation, did you get the sense that they were looking up to you as though you were like fearless leaders, wonders who knew sort of everything, and they were being inspired by what you were doing?
You know, our goal is to get as many people involved as we can, and so an important part of that is inspiring young women especially, because there is that disparity between men and women in STEM fields, to get involved. And I think an important part of what we do is showing them these, and I've seen them interact with these robots and their faces just light up, and they're so...
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Would you like to thank your fearless leader, Sean, in front of the board here so that we can get him around the park?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome. Yeah, they
If I
asked.
could add,
I said no.
Sean, I don't know how many years ago you approached me as high school principal looking to start up the robotics program. And of course, anything that would generate interest with students and kids and children, I said, absolutely. Little did I know that right across the hall from my office, Sean took over this, if you want to call it a closet area room, and at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I would hear the bandsaw and sawdust coming out of that room. It's amazing how far it's come. It's truly a tribute to all the kids and the work that they've done under your leadership. So thank you. Mhm.
All right. That's all we have. We'll get out of here so you can continue your meeting.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Yeah, we should. She has a lot of.
Yeah, it's a process.
We didn't want to try to drive it out. Let's see if it really does move.
Thank you so much.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Thank you, well done. Sidebar, sorry about that. Let's move on to Section A, minutes of previously held meetings. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves the minutes of the following previously held meetings: study session October 7th, policy committee meeting October 10th, regular board meeting October 15th, intergovernmental meeting October 24th. Did you get that? Any questions? Comments? Mr. Ritter? No? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Cerucci.
Aye.
Mr. Gottman.
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich. Aye. Mr. McIntyre. Mrs. Neely.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Bova.
Aye.
Okay, Section B, financial reports. Mr. Shaw.
Cerucci. Section B, resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approve Sections B B1, list of bills, B2, monthly financial statements, and B3, budget transfers, as listed in Section B at the Tuesday, November 19th, 2019 regular board meeting.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Ms. Neely. Any questions or comments? Whenever you're ready, Janet.
Mr. Gottman?
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich? Aye. Mr. McIntyre?
Aye.
Mrs. Neely?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mrs. Warning?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Bova?
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye. Okay, motion carries. We have no items tabled for Section C, so we'll move on to Section D personnel agenda. Mrs. Crump.
Thank you, Ms. Rucci. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors accepts and approves the personnel agenda items 1 through 11 as listed in Section D for the regular board meeting of Tuesday, November 19th. Under resignations, we would like to call to attention, we have added 1 new name since the meeting last week. Under leave of absence, we have a total of 7, which represents 3 new additions since the last. Transfers, there are a total of 4, which also include 2 new additions. Under employment, we do not have any changes through there or the supplemental contracts. Volunteers, athletic event workers, salary increase for the substitute, food service. We also have the recommendation for the 8 MCA systems. And also, we would like to draw to attention, we are very happy to announce that we do have a tentative agreement with the Teamsters Local 205, which represent all of our custodians, maintenance, secretaries, food service, paraprofessionals, and we are recommending tonight that resolve that the Gateway Board of School Directors ratifies and confirms the negotiated agreement between the Gateway Board of School Directors and the Service Personnel Teamsters Local 205 effective July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2024.
Is there a motion to approve Section D?
So moved. Second.
Motion, Mr. Williams, second, Ms. Neely. Comments, questions, discussion? On everything?
Just for the sake of the public, I know we just went over this, but, for number 10, I'm sorry, not number 10, the number 11, the contract ratification. You maybe just explain that this isn't a finalized vote, that, you know, even when we vote tonight, the contract is not technically settled.
We met with the Teamsters and did a tentative agreement at the table between both parties. This is the negotiated agreement for both parties that we're bringing to you for a vote. They will then take it to their members to vote. It will be done sometime in December. And then based upon both parties accepting the agreement, it will go into fruition probably the 1st of January.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call, Janet.
Mr. Lapsevich?
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes on all but 11.
Mrs. Neely?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mrs. Warning?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Bova?
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye.
Mr. Gottman?
Aye.
Motion carries. Section E, conferences and conventions.
Thank you, Ms. Rucci.
Chief.
Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves and authorizes the following conferences and conventions as listed in Section E at the regular meeting of Tuesday, November 19th. This particular conference was added after the study session.
Okay, is there a motion approved?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions on this conference for Dr. Chapin? Okay, Janet, roll call.
Mr. McIntyre?
Aye.
Mrs. Neely?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mrs. Warning?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Bova?
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye.
Mr. Gottman?
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich?
Aye.
Motion carries. Section F, administrative report.
Start with
Is that Dr. Rossi?
Item number 1, we accept the pilot offer from Mystery Science for the remainder of the 1920 school year. Item number 2, we have 30-day review of the policies listed below. Item number 3, a 30-day public display of African American Odyssey 2020 Pearson Education textbook.
Item number 4, we have a facility agreement with AC Sports Atlantic Coast. Item number 5, AIU Transition Memorandum of Understanding for the 2019-2020 and 2020-21 fiscal years. Item number 6, Eastern Area Special Schools 2019-20 budget.
Item number 7 is approving the district's management's discussion and analysis for the 18-19 fiscal year as depicted in Exhibit C. Item number 8 is the acceptance of district donations received specifically from Benzel Pretzel Company, 1,575 bags of pretzels for the backpack program at University Park Elementary School. And secondly, for Spitzer Auto World Monroeville, check for $21,500 for a school police vehicle lease and the completion of the computer science lab, also at Gateway High School. Item number 9, approve the district's new participation in their interlocal purchasing system, TIPS, Cooperative Purchasing Group, for the purchase of applicable items during the 1920 fiscal year. Item number 10, approve the district's continued participation in the Western Pennsylvania Electricity Consortium for a purchase of electricity from Direct Energy, the current vendor, or a new vendor to be determined, based on pricing to be received from up to 6 major electric suppliers, only if the price is at or below the district's current price. The extension to the original agreement with Direct Energy or the new contract with a new vendor will begin on the meter read date in January 2021 for a period of 12, 24, or 36 months, and the price will include all costs except distribution and other related delivery utility charges as contained in either the original or the new agreement. And item number 11, approve and authorize the district's administration to proceed with the preliminary schematic planning with the district's architect of record and the corresponding preliminary capital acquisition options with the district's bond underwriter associated with the required capital renovations and capital improvements to the Gateway Middle School for the creation of a new district grade 5 through grade 8 school building. Note, the district will be required to issue new bonds to acquire funds for the payment of the necessary capital renovations and capital improvements to the Gateway Middle School. A real estate tax millage increase will be required by the district to pay for the new debt service payments associated with the issuance of the new bonds. The district intends to close the Mosside Middle School at the conclusion of the construction required to complete the capital renovations and capital improvements to the Gateway Middle School. It is anticipated there will be expenditure reduction savings resulting from the consolidation of the 2 school buildings into 1 school building, which will be utilized by the district to help offset the increase in fiscal year debt service payments. Subsequent resolutions will be presented by the administration to the board for consideration, specifically related to the approval for the issuance of new bond debt, the approval for the submission of construction documents to the Pennsylvania Department of Education, the approval to bid the capital project, and the approval to award the base bid, as well as any applicable bid alternates related to the final scope of the approved capital project.
Need a drink after all that. Is there a motion to approve? Second. Motion to approve by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mr. Dortman. Is there questions or comments? I feel like somebody should kind of explain number 11. Dr. Short, Sbrm.
Well, I would, but since there's really no plan, I don't know what there is to practice.
That was a joke.
That was a joke. There
That
are
was a
hundreds
joke.
of plans. Dr. Short, since I'm on my way out, why don't you bring us up to speed? We've talked about this at great length.
Well, I could go back probably the last 7 or 8 years, but the district has been actively examining multiple options for our 2 buildings, Gateway Middle School and Mosside Middle School. Both buildings are roughly at 50% capacity, understanding that they were both utilized probably at the inception of the buildings, which was during the Eisenhower administration, I might add, 1950s, as a 7, 8, 9 building with roughly 1,100 to 1,200 students in each building. We are currently operating at around 550 to 600 per building at this point in time. The buildings are getting up there in age. A number of significant issues need to be addressed within 2 buildings. Boilers, HVAC, et cetera, roofs, something that we've all talked about. If Bob Brown was present today, I'm sure he would go up to that microphone and let us know some of the issues pertaining to both buildings. That's a little joke, by the way. We've examined multiple scenarios, one of which was placing the building up for sale, Gateway Middle School, looking at the acreage and a resource that the district holds. We have decided, at least for now, to pull that off the market and examine looking at consolidating the 5, 6, and 7, 8 building into 1. That would require schematic drawings, which would take place over the next year, The plan would be for December of 2020, if the board so chooses, to go out for possible bid on the renovation of Gateway Middle School. Understanding, and this is important that the community and then the taxpayers and our constituents hear this, there would be no shovel in the ground, so to speak, once again, unless board approval, but also not until the commencement of the 2021 school year. So please understand that we are a ways away from even doing anything, and that would definitely enable this building, Mossad Middle School, to be open for the following school year, which would be the 2021 school year. So that is the Cliff Note version of where we've been over the last 7 or 8 years with the potential options that we have on the table.
Very well said.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else?
I would just point out that this resolution tonight in no way, shape, or form binds us to
Not at all.
any part of any of this decision. This vote does not mean that we are in fact deciding to close the school. In order to close the school, as Ms. Boyes will probably be able to tell us at length, it requires a very long process going up and down the ladder through PDE, public hearings. Basically, this is just an attempt to increase communication with the community and for the sake of transparency, to let everybody know where we are, where we intend to move at this point. But at any given time, we will have the flexibility to change down the road.
Well said.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call, Janet?
Mrs. Neely? Aye. Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mrs. Morning?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Bova?
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye.
Mr. Gottman?
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich?
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Section G, we have no resolutions presented by board members, unless there's anything added after the fact. Seeing none, are there any comments? Did anyone sign up
Yes,
first?
we have one sign up to speak on non-agenda.
Okay, who would that be?
Tricia Shelton.
Okay. Tricia, step right up. I believe it's Dr. Shelton. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Dr. Tricia Shelton, and I'm here to talk about my oldest son, Christopher Matthias Shelton, who is 16 and on the autistic spectrum. Until Friday of November 15th, my son attended Spectrum Charter School on Northern Pike right here in Monroeville. My husband, my son, and I chose this school for him because we felt that it would be a good fit for my child who has complex behavioral, social, and academic needs. Spectrum boasts on its website that it is on the forerunner of development and educational and transitional services for individuals on the spectrum, as well as special education students who have difficulty learning in traditional environments. Unfortunately, despite these claims and the visions and goals that are set on the website, Spectrum Charter School has miserably failed my child. And I am fearful that this school will continue to fail our most vulnerable children if this board votes to renew its charter agreement. On October 14th, 2019, I received an email from the CEO of Spectrum Charter School that denied my child access to school for an indiscriminate amount of time. As this notice was not a result of a suspension or an expulsion, nor did it follow the policies or procedures outlined in the school handbook, I have every reason to believe that this action was purely discriminatory. As a result of the school's decision, my son was out of school for a total of 22 school days, violating his civil rights as a child with a disability entitled to a free and appropriate public school education. In over an entire month of school, there was no compensatory education offered, no homebound instruction, no related services. During that time, I watched my child, who desperately wanted to attend school, regress and lose skills. As some of you may know, children with autism often are highly dependent on routines and schedules. So this time out of school was particularly impactful for my child. Not to mention the loss of academic time and speech and communication services has left a gap in his learning that I am terrified he will never recover from. Perhaps you think that this is a risk that families take when they pursue a school choice option, and I agree. Every school has its challenges, and families should be committed to working with schools to problem solve. However, when an institution displays blatant disregard for federal law and compulsory school regulations, it has no business serving students in this or any other school district. Allow me to please remind you that charter schools in this district receive Gateway School District budgeted monies to fund their education. It is my understanding that the district paid more than $37,000 per year for a child like mine to attend a charter school. For 22 days, Spectrum Charter School was out of compliance with that contract it had with the district to service my child. In these tight budget times, can Gateway School District really be apathetic to what amounts to over $5,000 worth of instruction? Please, before you vote to renew the charter for Spectrum Charter School, do your due diligence to review their policies and procedures. Verify that it is a public charter school that is truly committed and invested in educating all children, not just those that fit their image of disability. Be confident that they are willing and able to work with parents and families to provide appropriate supports and services to meet all children's needs. Let your service as a school board member be reflective of school equity for all of our district children, whether they have selected to attend a Gateway School District or another school. Vote no to renew the Spectrum Charter School Agreement. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Dr. Sheldon, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak on non-agenda items this evening? Yes, Cheryl, step right up.
My name is Cheryl Boyce, and I live in Monroeville. Prior to coming here this evening, I had an opportunity to review something that's going to happen tomorrow between 5:30 and 6:30 at Monroeville Library. There's going to be a teacher there that's going to talk to parents about Common Core math. Is that something you're doing in conjunction with the municipality and Monroeville Library? Is Gateway involved with that at all? Do you know? You don't know anything about that? Does anybody know anything about that particular situation?
Ms. Hoffman is holding some sessions at the Monroeville Library.
Is that tomorrow? I'm going to go because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go, and I'm going to be a fly on the wall in the back of the room. Because I reached out to Senator Brewster and sent him an email after I read that and referred him to that. It's on the Monroeville Facebook page. We're not supposed to have Common Core anything in Pennsylvania. They have consistently said in Harrisburg, we do not have that.
It's PA Core.
That's not what this says. It's advertised as Common Core.
Yeah.
Now, you have to understand when you do that, if you're going to advertise it as such, the state is saying there's no such animal, right? So either you say it's PA standards or you call it Common Core, because they're not the same things. So if that's an advertising snafu, you need to fix that. Okay, but to tell you the truth, I've been there to all the meetings. I was at Pitt when they explained this. We have Common Core. You can call it what you want, you know. It is what it is. Getting back to that, have we ever been invited to participate in the NAEP test?
Not during my time, no.
Do you know how we get to do that? I would love to see Gateway take this test.
Dr. Rossi and I had talked about it because Plum was picked during your time over at Plum.
There's a selection.
Yeah.
Do you know how? Because I'll tell you why. I sent Mary Beth this, and we had a conversation about that, and this relates to standards and everything that's going on. And this is what I said to Senator Brewster's on the Education Committee. And I did send him an email. He can't ignore me. I will be calling him. I want to follow up on this. The reality is when they took the NAEP test this time around, we did terrible as a country. I would like to see what Gateway does, because that's the ultimate test. They're saying that the standards we're using and the testing we're using are not getting us anywhere, and that we really have to pay attention to this. I would like to see us take, because I like to see how we do. And I like to make that information public, so if we can volunteer to do that, that would be great. But be ready, because if we don't do well, you know, you could get bitten from this too. But that's the ultimate test, because they're saying that we seriously still have some issues, that we're either stagnant academically or we're actually regressing instead of increasing. But again, I just wanted to throw that out there since I saw the thing about the Common Core math, which you may want to rephrase that then, because I was a pit the day they explained this, and that's what we have, and you can call it what you want to call it, but that's it. But anyway, if you do decide to do the NAEP, I'd really appreciate knowing about that, because I'd really like to see how we do, because I think that's the ultimate determining factor about how well all this is working. Just one last thing for all of you that are going to be on the school board moving forward. 20 years ago, when we put they put the PSSA and the test in place, a lot of you may not know this, but in actually the archived documents, if you go back and research this, Gateway actually, the school board was paying so close attention to what the state was asking them. Gateway's school board sent a delegate to testify at the hearings, as did the administration, and guess what they testified? They didn't want the PSSA test. So when you read that historically, the school board has been very active and very involved at the state level. Now, that hasn't happened a lot in the last 20 years, but it's just a challenge to all the new folks that are going to be on the board that these are the kind of things that we should be paying attention to, because other districts continue to send representatives to hearings to testify about those kind of things, and I'd like to see us get back in that groove again. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to reports. We'll start with you, Mrs. Bungart. Welcome back. Do you have anything to report?
Thank you. I just want to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday next week.
Thank you. Dr. Shaky? Dr. Rossi? Mr. Shaw, anything else?
Nothing further, thank you.
Mr. Clark, who are we hiring?
At the moment, I don't think it, no. I think right now we're doing good at the moment, but we would like to take this opportunity to thank all the administrators who represented the district and the Teamsters, and all the stewards that represented the Teamsters 205 for all of their dedication, their time that they've spent over the last year to get us to where we are. We greatly appreciate that. So we want to thank them and wish everyone a happy holiday.
Thank you. Mr. Ritter?
Last week, we had a fellow named Derek Schaffner tell us about the Kids of Steel program, and after it was done, I was so impressed, I said, Derek, could you provide us with a video so that we could introduce your program to the public so that they could at least see what it is, and if they like it, they could sign up for it. I thought about that, and he did send me the video. I think it would not be good for us to set a precedent for us to take any third-party advertisement about their program and use our local cable access station or the district's YouTube channel to promote a third-party service. So I like Derek's program, and if you have questions about it, just get in touch with me or any of us here, and we can point you to Derek's program. But I think we should not set that precedent.
Very good. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Mrs. Warning?
Just a couple of things. First, I want to congratulate Maddie Neufendorfer for signing to play soccer at Duquesne. She's done a fantastic job for Gateway, and I can't wait to see her continue down at Duquesne. Also, thank you to the maintenance crew. They have been a fantastic help for the backpack program. I've really had them working these past couple weeks, and a lot of happy families. Happy holidays to everyone. And Saturday, we have our championship game with Gateway and Peters Township. We'll be playing at Norwin at 6 o'clock. To all our players, coaches, band members, color guards, cheerleaders, wish them the best of luck. Bring home a winner. I think we can do that. Keep your heads on straight. It'll be a good game. And also to our board members that will be exiting. It's been an honor to work with you guys. Wish you the best of luck. We've accomplished quite a bit, and we're here if you guys need anything. And with that, that's it.
Well said. Mr. Lopsovich?
Thank you. To my friends in this room and in TV land, after 4 years of being on this board, there's so much I like to say about Bonnie, but it's not Bonnie today, it's Janet Estock. Might buzz me off for talking too long, but bear with me. First, I want to thank the voters of Pitkin and Morovo who put me in this seat for those 4 years. It has been a pleasure and honor all the time. From the time I was sworn in till tonight, I can only say I have no personal agenda. My only agenda from this seat was been towards the students, staff, and the taxpayers of Monroeville and Pitcairn. Through the years, I've done my best trying to save the district money. While chairman of the Buildings and Grounds Committee, I initiated having glass block installed in all entryways would be more cost efficient and more safe. As another safety measure, intruders can no longer roam the halls at the sports complex. They have a separate entryway to go into the AD's office. During the first 3 months on this board, the administrator was replaced due to her not being suited for the responsibilities of her job. I'm so glad the past board and this board decided her replacement was going to be Dr. Short. I have never second-guessed that vote, and I have to say, administration doors were always open to me, where we had many intense and occasional funny discussions with Dr. Short, Dr. Rossi, and Dr. Shaky. These 4 years have been up and down, good and bad, joyful and miserable, with me only missing one meeting due to surgery. From the beginning till now, I've given my all to the district, but my greatest personal accomplishment is my fight against drugs. Due to my wife and myself, we had Narcan placed in the high school, and I'm so happy up to this day, it's never had to be used. Last year, we were invited to give a drug talk to the 5th and 6th graders at the Mossad Elementary School. This might not have been possible if I wasn't on board. Being a public figure, our past and our family's past as well is known. We have been through family drug use firsthand with facing the worst possible ending. So we were invited to talk to the students on how drugs affect the whole family. This was done over a week to 7 gym classes. Laughing, crying, and much discussion went on. I have to say it was one of the most fulfilling moments of my life. If only one person would say no to drugs, I succeeded. I have something in here. I know it's a garbage bag, but this was left on my doorstep about a month after we spoke to the children, thanking us and giving us a thumbs up for the talk we gave to them. That was the biggest reward that I could ever have in my life. My son would have been happy with that.
It's a list of notes from students collected and
that we
delivered
talked
to
to.
you? Okay, thank you.
If the 4 years I have worked behind the scenes many times to get things done for the schools, again, it's not about me, it's about the outcome. So it's with sadness, I won't be sitting here as a member of the Gateway School Board. I feel my time has come, has been a learning experience in politics and human nature, with the two not always working together. So with that, I thank you again for the vote for 4 years ago that let me do my best and work for the best district we can have. Good luck to the new board and to the districts overall. No one beats a Gator. Go Gators win Saturday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, George. Thank you for pouring your heart and soul into the last 4 years.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate your service. Mr. Bova.
Well, I would like to say goodbye to y'all. I'll be going back to Pitcairn to be on council. I'd like to thank the 6 board members who appointed me to this position, the 2 who didn't, Brian and John. I admire your courage, but I think you can now admit you made a horrible mistake. I want to thank everyone. It's been a pleasure, honor to serve the community. No one listens to advice, but I'm going to give the new folks just a little bit. You will hear lots of pious folks constantly talk about how what we do is all for the kids, which, seems rather self-evident, but people insist on repeating it. What we really do is represent the voters and the taxpayers and the residents of this community. It's really easy to give the kids everything they think they want and need, and the administrators and the teachers. There's a cost for every one of those decisions. And it's the most difficult balance that you have to strike, and you basically have to do it every month. So you'll do it the way you think is best. I have complete confidence in you, but remember, the taxpayers, they don't come to you every day. They don't weigh in as often as they should. Some of them are here and they do offer their input, but try to keep those people in mind when you're making your decisions. So thank you all. It's been a great pleasure. And that's it.
Thank you, Jack. Proud to say I voted for you.
Yeah. I remember. I wrote them all down.
Mr. McIntyre.
I just retort by, I remember who voted for me for vice president and who didn't also, Jack.
Listen, I'll do it again.
No, I just want to quickly say thank you to the members leaving. Dawn, obviously you came in under a little bit of duress, kind of a tight schedule. I think your ability to come in and hit the ground running proved that we made the right decision. And I thank you for the time you spent away from your husband, although that may have been a side benefit, knowing your husband.
Yes.
Jack, we've gotten to know each other pretty well over the last 2 years. I think anybody that's been paying attention to your comments and your voting record here on the board would agree. We hit an absolute home run with putting you in that spot. And I thank you for your time away from Pitcairn, which again may have been a benefit.
To Pitcairn.
Yeah, exactly. And to Mr. Lapsevich, it's been an honor and privilege to serve with you for 2 years. We haven't agreed on everything, but I feel like we've been able to come out the other side amicably, even when we've had some heated arguments. There's no doubt in my mind, you have the biggest heart, I think, of anybody in this room. And you love the district, and I think that definitely comes through in your actions and your words. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Mr. Galtman.
All right, I got two things. One, I'll get the artwork first, because I would like to address our exiting board members. So with the artwork for this month's selection, it actually comes from this very school here, Mosside Middle School. And with Mr. Clerk's class, they did a couple designs here. These were done by the 6th and 5th graders, so starting with the 6th grade. We have some 6th grade students that create original cereal box designs for they were two-dimensionally, and then assembled the boxes three-dimensionally. Doing this, the students learned about basic design layout, and they were able to make a connection to consumer design outside the classroom. So we actually take a couple different topics here and skills and combine together, which, if I'm correct, this would be our first ever three-dimensional art exhibit. So
Then you got the nutritional information on the sides.
we do, yes. The cameras can't see it, but we do have the nutritional facts on here, and I must say these are the healthiest cereals I've ever seen. The other group of 6th graders also created complementary color collages. They used balance, which is one of their art principles, and complementary colors, an art element, to complete the assignment, which would be I believe that'd be the purple and yellow ones. Textured hands designs. The students created various textures, which is another art element, in their hands, and they were able to verbalize how texture is used in fashion design, interior design, industrial design. It's another cross-learning example here. So I've got a couple hands here, which I think are pretty cool. We have bricks, leaves, water, scales, metal. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And the last one is moving pictures. So the 5th grade students created movement and rhythm, which are principles of art, on a two-dimensional surface. And then they were also able to make a connection between rhythm and art and how rhythm is used in music. Those would be, we do have one example here of, we have fish jumping out of the water. It's a great, nice little arc rhythm. Okay, so again, thank you to the art class for the selection. I'm looking forward to next month's. All right, and now for our board members. Starting with Ms. Neely, we only got to be with you for a short time, but as Mr. McIntyre said, that you were able to jump right in for the few short months that we needed you. I mean, I can't thank you enough for helping us out with that. Mr. Bova, as one of the two who did not vote for you, I will admit that I should have voted for you. You have been phenomenal. I mean, it's been a pleasure working with you. I do wish you the best of luck back over in Pitcairn.
Thank you.
And Mr. Lasovich, I know I only been on the board for 2 years, but it seems like it's been longer than that. I mean, working with you has been an honor. You know, you have a ton of heart. Everything you put 100% into everything you do, and even have the opportunity to know your wife Nancy. She is a wonderful woman, and I do hope to, see you at least at the football games, if not more. So I'd like to thank everybody for all their time and their service with us, and looking forward to our new board members coming on. That is all.
Mr. Williams?
That's funny, I've been here a long time, and it's my second time with Dawn. And it's strange because before I came up this evening, I ran into Bill Bailey, former board member who was here. And I also got a phone call from Steve O'Donnell, another former board member who was here. Thank you guys, again, Dawn, for everything you've done. George, Jack, I'll see you down Pitcairn. George, not a stranger. You guys become friends over the years. We see each other, share memories and everything else. And you guys have done a great job and really helped out the school. You can tell by where we're at now today because of things that you guys have done here. And I look forward to the new board members that are coming on and continue the success here at Gateway and keep moving the school forward. So thanks to everybody on your journey out of here and everybody on your way in. And that's all I have.
Mrs. Neely?
I just want to thank the 7 board members that voted for me. And the 2 that didn't, still love you. It's been interesting. It was an honor for you guys to bring me back in, and I felt that it was easy for me to transition as you had wanted me to get the school year started, which was the main thing, because you guys were left at a time where you had to get the school year going, and I think I was able to step in for you, and I was happy to do that, and I thank you guys for putting that honor on me. As Jack said, Jack and I don't always agree about a lot of things, but I think we agree about more things than he thinks we do. But this is a business, and we are in the business to educate. So to the new board members, I agree with Jack. There is a fine line, and you've got to walk it. And it's not easy. And you are going to have people that are going to come to you in the public, and they want this, that, and the other. And as I had told Chad Steubenport and numerous other people, even Brian, who stood on my doorstep to sign his petition, you cannot click your ruby slippers and think you will get everything you want. You've got to count to 5. And there are times that that's going to be very difficult to do. And it's going to be a lot of water you're going to have to tread to get there. But in the end, as Jack said, you keep the children. The most important thing you're doing is for the children of the school district. But it is a business, and you've got to remember that. I mean, you are dealing with a huge budget and a lot of money that you really don't have much control over, maybe 25%. The board has about 75% of it is pretty much fixed cost. So you're dealing really with a small amount of money, but people think you're dealing with this huge amount of money. So it's a balancing act. So I wish all of you the best of luck. If you ever need help, want to know anything, my door's always open. Feel free to call me. And if anybody else decides to leave and you need me back in the next 2 years before I leave for Hilton Head, give me a call.
All right. That's down to the minutes. All right, and with that, I'm going to go to, you have something to add, Mr. Lepsovich? Yes, sir.
I didn't forget. I'm going to have the honor to be able to take my nameplate home with me after 4 years of my, that's my payday. But thank God, 20 years from now, when I'm probably in my rocking chair with a diaper on, and I forget who I am, at least I can look at this and say, well, that must be you, George Lapsovich. Thank you.
That's tough to follow.
Tough act to follow there, but Mr. Lapsovich, Mr. Bova, Mrs. Neely, thank you. Central administration, faculty, staff, children. Dedication, your loyalty, the amount of time that you've put into this. The public doesn't realize how much time goes into this, and the constant communication that we have truly daily from text messages and emails, some of which I know Mr. Bova is going to miss, seeing some of the issues that we deal with. But truly, you've allowed for our team to be trusted by this group of 9. And that, to me, is the most important thing that we have moving forward. And we've had this over the last 4 years, is trust. And the community needs to understand that we take every cent, every dollar that we spend. It's an important issue to us. And I happened to open up my email and saw Paul Schott ready to crack open the 2020-21 budget next week, or I'm sorry, on Thursday. So it's something that we take a lot of pride in doing. And I think if you look at the tax rate in Allegheny County, we're still at the bottom third quarter, so 14th. So it shows the tremendous results that we're doing, not only fiscally, but also academically, because on the reverse end of things, we're at the top of the scales. And information that I will share with the public at our January 16th State of the Union address. But with that, I personally thank you for your trust and allowing us to continue to educate our most valuable resource, and that's our children. And that's what it'll always be. Sometimes I confront you with the brutal facts. They have to be said. I don't mince words. I tell it exactly the way it is, and I think that's what this board wants, and I would expect the new board when we're behind closed doors, and sometimes it's not all rosy, and things get difficult, and we got to make tough decisions, but that's why collectively we're here as a group to ensure that we're doing right by children. So thank you for your service, dedication, and loyalty. Don't look for the paycheck, by the way. Thank you very much.
I would just add that as rosy as that was towards Mrs. Neely, he confided in me earlier that he's not going to miss that look when you've asked a question to the group and then that turn of the chair and that look.
I've had that look from Mrs. Neely for 20 years.
You have anything else, Mr. Bova, before I seek to adjourn? All right. Well, with that, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and I would seek a motion to adjourn.
Second. So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.